So, it seems that I may have promised y'all some whiskey reviews because I went off and bought myself a whiskey advent calendar. Happy December. So here's the deal. We're gonna do this, and there's not gonna be any editing. What you see is what you get. One take, that's all I get. Because this is just supposed to be fun, educational, and I want to enjoy doing it. So we're going to keep it short and simple. Not going to stream. I'm just going to keep it between you and me, and everybody can enjoy it on their own with me. So what I want to do is open the whiskey, obviously, find out what we get. I'll have to type in a little information real quick, and then we're going to start learning about the distillery. We're going to start learning about the whiskey that we're going to be drinking, and then we're going to drink it, and we're going to taste it and see what it's like, and then read what it's supposed to be like based on the reviews from the distillery. So anyway, let's go. It's December 1st. Let's get our first whiskey. I did not want to come out of there. All right, what do we have? Glenrothes. You're right. I totally cheated. I looked ahead of time because I had to put together the background. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing is cheating. But it'll still be exciting when you find out because the odds of you being able to read the picture any given time are pretty slim. And if you can, then I'll just, hide it. So we have ourselves the Glenrothes 18-year-old Solio Collection. Speyside single malt Scotch whiskey. Well, that's what we've got. Solio Collection. See, I've seen this in the stores before. I've thought about buying it. It's expensive. It's like $200 for a bottle of 15 or something, or 18. The 12 year is a decent price, like 69, 79, or 6, whatever. More than I want to pay for something I've never tasted before. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. So, we've got our whiskey cam. We've got our whiskey. Look at that tiny little sample. So, I'm going to leave that there. And let's take a tour of their distillery. Learn a little bit about them. Let's do history first. So, the history. Stand by. Wait for it. Oh, why is it not working? Oh, that's great. The whole thing bonked in the middle of it? Are you kidding me? I was just there. There it is. Okay. For some reason, it decided to stop hosting that particular source. There we go. The history of the Glenrothes. All right, let's learn about it together. Now, this I have not looked ahead on, okay? I set everything up. I didn't read ahead. I don't know anything that you don't already know, which is nothing, probably, same as me. Okay, so 2 men of principle, Mr. James Stewart and Reverend William Sharp. I love it. Reverend involved with making a distillery. I tell you what, they know how to do things in Scotland, right? The history of the Glenrothes distillery begins with the stories of 2 exceptional men. All right, we've got Mr. James Stewart, who first had the vision to build a new distillery in the town of Rothes, and Reverend William Sharp, who raised the funds needed to save the distillery from ruin and helped turn dream into reality. Well, that's pretty cool. Okay, so a little bit about James Stewart. He was born and bred in Rothes. Had a passion for whiskey. I mean, don't we all, right? If you're watching this, you either have a passion for whiskey or you're my friend and you're watching it because I asked you to. So thank you, by the way, if you're in the latter category. So he sees that this distilling thing is going to be big and he wants to start his own distillery and wanted to make a lighter and fruitier spirit than his counterparts. All right, because a lot of scotch, as some of you may know, can be kind of heavier, peatier, smoky. It's very common things to find in a scotch, but these fruitier, lighter spirits, Speyside is actually known for lighter scotches. So he knew whiskey. He knew to make the finest single malts, the ingredients of wood and time would be essential. Indeed, you have to put them in wooden casks and wait for a long time. 18 years for this bad boy. All right, so he would ensure the distillation process wouldn't be hurried just to increase production. That's appreciated. It'll last as long as necessary. Boy, I like the way this guy thinks. I would say he wants a fruitiness capable of creating a lighter and creamier whiskey, and had a firm conviction that every cask at his estate would be carefully sourced and tended by local coopers, those are the folks who make the barrels, and would bring their timeless knowledge of the magic of wood. There will be no shortcuts. I like that. I like that a lot. So he starts this partnership with some local businessmen. We've got Robert Dick and William Grant, and it says that they started an old mill next to the Rothes burn. Don't really know what the Rothes burn is. I guess we may find that out later. But in the summer of 1878, financial crisis hit the country, and they could no longer finance the build of the distillery. Well, that's a bummer. So James stepped aside and left Robert and William with a dilemma over what to do next. Oh, James, you're breaking my heart here, buddy. What in the world? Okay, so this is where Reverend Sharp comes into play, okay? A priest of the United Presbyterian Church in the nearby village of Archiestown. Probably not pronouncing that Scottish correctly. Known for his sermons warning his parishioners against the evils of temptation. See, that's what I expected to hear when somebody starts talking about a reverend in the 1800s. He was a man of principle, whose devotion to God was rivaled only by his commitment to his community. In Speyside, it was whiskey that was backbone of the community. Okay, we'll see, now it's starting to make sense. He knew the town of Rothes needed a second distillery to provide stable employment, because they had coppersmiths, coopers, warehouse workers, and they all relied on whiskey for their livelihoods. Okay, cool. So he sees this, and he's like, all right, we gotta do something about it, sounds like. He says he was not a rich man, he was a persuasive one. He appealed to the local leaders of the community and managed to raise £600, which I suppose in the 1800s was quite a chunk of cash. And that was enough to complete the work on the Glenrothes distillery. Oh, cool. So that's how the distillery got built. Alright, so summer of 1878 began the construction. A large warehouse was built, a mash room was built, and on December 28th, 1879, the first pure spirit flowed from the distillery. That's pretty cool. So this started in 1879, was their first production. Man, that's an old distillery. So a lade or mill stream was constructed to divert some of the burn to turn a water wheel that provided the distillery with the power it needed. So I'm assuming a burn might be a river at this point. That's not a word that ever came up in my hydrology class, but I can dig it. Railway siding brought in the barley, took away the filled casks, and most importantly, the soft water provided by the springs upstream ensured there was plentiful supply of cold, crystal clear water. Well, there's the spring, so now I don't know what a burn is again. Maybe no, I don't know. As a tribute to the people of Rothes, the footpath that crossed the estate remained open, giving the local people freedom to roam. Cool. Very cool. So I guess James Stewart is back now, and he was convinced to use traditional distillation methods, along with the latest advances in technology, which at the time was, over 100 years old technology, but it was new for the times. His conviction was built on 4 founding principles: having access to a nearby source of water, slower than usual distillation, the best sherry seasoned cask, and whiskey always bottled at natural color. So they don't add coloring to this whiskey, supposedly. All right, so that's the history of the distillery, or the history of, I guess, the brand and how it came about. So this is the distillery itself. On the inside, you can see their equipment in here. Wow, all their stills. That's a nice looking production. Okay, so distilleries in the town of Rothes in the heart of Speyside. We covered that. We don't have a visitors center. In fact, we don't even have a road sign. It's the Glenrothes whiskey itself that puts us on the map. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. A place of pride and dedication. Okay, the site is split in two by the burn of Rothes. Maybe it is a spring. Is this the burn? Because it's split in two. Maybe a burn is a type of river. I'm going to go with river. Creek. One side there's production. Exclusively selected malt arrives on site to be screened and weighed before milling. Alright, cool. Fresh spring water from our state is added to the grist to start the mashing process and wash before being transferred to our tall copper stills. Nice. Oh, by the way, copper is so expensive. Do you have any idea how expensive all these stills are? It's ridiculous. So, on the other side, so I guess this is the production side with the warehouse and everything, and then over here is the other side, maybe? I don't know. The new spirit is transferred to the filling store, reduced by our own water source, ready to be filled to cask. It's beside our warehouses, which slowly mature the Glenrothes whiskey to the perfect age. Beyond the warehouses, on the right, hidden away, you'll find the cooperage and cask store. Cool. So yeah, this is the photo that I had up at the beginning. All right. Well, that's pretty neat. I guess it's time to taste some whiskey. What do you guys think? We'll taste whiskey, and then we'll see what they have to say about their whiskey. I don't want my judgment clouded. Oh man, how do I get into this? Uh-oh. This could be over before it's begun. Oh, okay. There we go. I was able to crack the wax. Alright, so we've got our nice little Glencairn. Pretty much the best glass for tasting. Definitely the best one that I own. And we're committed. We're committed to the whole thing. There we go. Alright, so oops, put that over here. Alright, so that is a really nice light color. I like the color on this. It's very nice. Alright, now the sniffing and the oohing and ahhing and the part y'all have been waiting for is getting here. We did our education, now we do our inebriation. Oh. Oh, that's nice. I'm not really getting a lot of sweetness. I'm getting a bit of vanilla, but not sweet. It's not like a vanilla ice cream. It's more like I sniffed a bottle of vanilla extract. Which, in and of itself, is also not bad. I mean, there's a bit of, I hate to say it, but almost like a nail polishy bit on the front of the nose there that's kind of hiding the other things. Something fruity. Maybe apple? No, not. I don't know, maybe it's apple. It's that sort of crispness. That crisp sweetness that comes from like an apple or a pear. Maybe it's pear. Or a jicama. Same crisp sweetness. This is not jicama. This is definitely apple or pear. Alright, so, I mean, with all my colors in here, this is not going to show very well, but it definitely looks darker here than it does over here. I'm wondering if I can let a little bit... Oh. Oh, that's pear. That's definitely pear. Yeah, I'm getting vanilla and pear. That's about all I'm getting. There's the sweetness. Wow, what is that? It's a little chicory. It's almost like sweet followed by some kind of spice. Ginger, maybe? Yeah, I'm gonna go with ginger. There's almost something floral in that. I mean, the vanilla's there. It's a little sweeter. It's definitely sweeter on the palate than it is on the nose. Vanilla, ginger, some floral note. I have no idea. I couldn't begin to place it. I'm gonna let that mellow for a second. Maybe even a little... I don't know. I mean, there's oak there. I feel like mentioning oak in the tasting of a whiskey is kind of like saying this guy's blue. Because it's aged in an oak barrel. That's kind of the point. Some are much more oak forward, right? So sometimes you're like, wow, that's just oak. But this one, it's so dialed to the back that it's really not worth mentioning. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the review of their scotch. And see what it says. I purposefully just quickly opened the tab, like right-click open the tab, and didn't look at anything it said because I didn't want my tasting to be influenced by what I see on the page. So I'm curious to see what's there. What did I miss? What did I get? Did I get anything wrong? I mean, everybody, it's really... Oh, is it honeysuckle? It's really subjective. It's to each person's palate. You know, two people can drink the same thing and come up with different flavors and smells. All right, honeysuckle. That's my final answer. I think that's what the floral is. Yeah. Okay, so let's find out. It mellowed enough while I was talking that I kind of just flashed into my brain. All right, let's go. This is the 18. This is what we're drinking. 43% ABV. The Soleo collection, it says a complex and well-rounded expression matured only in sherry seasoned oak casks, a high proportion first fill, bottled at natural color, okay, so no added colors, with a sweet vanilla, pear, and fresh ginger character. Look at that. I mean, those were pretty easy for me to figure out. All right, so here we go. Aroma, orange oil. I did not get any orange out of that, really? Okay. Still not getting the orange at all. It just goes straight to, like, vanilla and pear. Almonds. So orange, vanilla, pear. Okay, I got the vanilla, I got the pear. Almonds, really? Oh, maybe. Okay, it's almost like, have you had like the almond liqueur as like a mixer or Joe or something, whatever it's called? It almost smells a little bit like that. But that also smells a little bit like vanilla. If you sniff vanilla oil and you sniff almond oil or extract and you sniffed almond extract, they're adjacent on the sniffer. They're different, but they're adjacent. I think the vanilla is just hiding the almond entirely. So I'm not really getting the almond. I can see where they're coming from. Definitely vanilla. I did find the pear. Not the orange. I didn't get any orange at all. I just got pear. Taste sweet. Yeah, it was definitely sweet once it got on my tongue. Ginger, rose water. Oh, there's the floral. Rose water. Okay. Pears and vanilla. Okay, yeah, it's not a surprise there. Rose water. We do a lot of rose water in my medieval group, so I'm a little chuffed that one snuck by me. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I can see that floral being rose and not honeysuckle. Okay. I'll allow it. Finish, sweet, spicy, slightly peppery. I think maybe the peppery and gingery are kind of clashing because they both have kind of a spice to them. Not really getting... I get the spicy, but I'm just getting ginger. And slightly peppery. Okay. And there's the lineup. 10, 12, some special release, 18, and 25. The 18 year... Let's find out how much it actually costs. Ah! 159, 129. I mean, it depends on your location, right? Like, look at that's 22. So anywhere from like 160 down to that's Glenmorangie. That's Arbor. Okay, so the 150, 160. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, yeah, Total Wine is what I'm really gonna look at because we've got Total Wines here in Texas. So, all right, that's an expensive scotch. I'm glad I didn't have to pay $150 for the entire bottle just to try this. Now, do I think it's worth $150 me personally? No, I'm not gonna buy this bottle. Is it a really good scotch? Oh yeah. Oh yes, very much. I would rank this one somewhere on the order of the Auchentoshan 12 or so, which I think I pay 60 or 70 for. I would pay up to about 80 bucks for this. This is a very good, very sweet, floral, fruity scotch. If you're the kind who does not like peat, you don't like smoke, you don't want any of that mess in your scotch, this is going to be right up your alley. And I'm willing to bet that the 10 and 12, which are going to be much more budget friendly, are also no smoke, no peat. So we've got banana and lemon and vanilla in the 12 year. These are if you're interested. And then the 10 year is boasting vanilla, shortbread, citrus, lemon, light malt. So sweet, zesty, vanilla. I mean, it sounds delicious. They all sound delicious. So yeah, I think that if you've got money to burn, this is a great option. If you are looking for a more budget-friendly thing in sort of this vein, you might want to try the Auchentoshan non-age statement or the Auchentoshan 12. Those are going to be more budget-friendly options for something of a similar tasting note to this. The 12 is going to be a bit more darker fruits, so less pear, more like a plum or a dark cherry, but still a fruity, very light floral scotch. So anyway, that's going to be it. We're going to wrap up. That's the first one. It's done. It's in the bag. So I'm going to have a couple of people look over this, get some critiques. It ran a little bit longer than I wanted to. I was trying to keep it to around 15 minutes. I think next time I probably won't read as much from the website, but I do want this to be educational. So we'll do it again tomorrow. And this is the December 1st. It'll probably uploaded in a couple of days. So we'll always be a couple of days behind. So if I can get caught up, great. If not, well, I work full time. So this is just a side project. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day and definitely look forward for the rest of the month to have cool whiskey reviews. Bye.